Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're zeroing in on something that, well, it goes way beyond just romantic sparks.
Yeah, the concept of love languages.
Right, from Gary Chapman originally. But our mission here, it's not just about couples, is it?
Not at all.
Yeah.
We're really digging into how these 5 ways of expressing and feeling love can genuinely change all your relationships.
Like with family, friends.
Even in school projects or, sports teams, how you connect there.
Think of it like this, maybe. You might feel great with a pat on the back, after doing something well.
Sure.
But someone else, they might feel really seen only when you actually say, hey, you absolutely nailed that.
Exactly. It's all about learning to speak their specific language, isn't it?
So what are these 5 languages? Let's recap quickly.
Okay, first up, we've got words of affirmation. This is all about the power of spoken appreciation.
Hearing encouraging words, genuine compliments, that kind of thing.
Precisely. Those words that really resonate.
Then there's quality time. And reading Chapman, it's clear this isn't just like being in the same room.
No, definitely not. It's about focused attention. Real distraction-free moments together.
Like a movie night where everyone actually puts their phones away.
Exactly. And really connects with what's happening and with each other.
Okay, what's next?
Receiving gifts. Now, this one gets misunderstood sometimes.
People think it's materialistic.
Yeah, maybe. But the research really highlights the thoughtfulness, the effort behind the gift. It's not about the cost.
So it's the tangible symbol. Proof you were thinking of them.
You've got it. That speaks volumes to some people.
Okay, after gifts.
Acts of service. This is where, actions truly speak louder than words for some folks.
Doing helpful things, like making coffee, running an errand.
Exactly. Those gestures that show you care and you're considerate.
Makes sense. And the last one.
And finally, physical touch. For some individuals, nonverbal stuff like hugs, a comforting touch on the arm.
Even a high five.
Yeah, even a high five can be the most powerful way to show affection and support. It's quite fundamental for some.
Okay, so those are the 5. But what happens when we kind of get it wrong? When we don't understand these differences?
Well, that's where the problems start, right? We stumble in the dark, basically.
And I guess one of the first issues is just assuming everyone feels loved the same way we do.
Absolutely. That's a major pitfall. For instance, maybe you're a hugger. You show affection through touch naturally.
Right. Seems normal to you.
But if you're constantly hugging, say, a colleague whose main language is quality time,
Uh-oh.
those hugs might actually make them feel a bit, well, uncomfortable or even less connected, because what they really value is your undivided attention when you talk.
I see. That's a really crucial point. It can lead to big misinterpretations then.
Oh, definitely. We saw this interesting case study. A parent showed love by always making the child's favorite meals.
A clear act of service.
Totally. But the child's primary language, it was words of affirmation.
So despite all the effort with the food,
The child often felt, well, overlooked, maybe even unloved, because they weren't hearing that verbal praise, that encouragement they needed.
wow. Right. And that breeds that feeling of being unappreciated, doesn't it?
It really can.
Like imagine you're always helping a friend with their homework, putting in that active service effort.
Yeah, a big investment of your time.
But if their language is receiving gifts, your help might not hit the mark as much as, say, a small, thoughtful present would have.
Exactly. It's like you're speaking different dialects. The message just isn't quite landing.
So, okay, if we start tuning into these languages, what changes? What are the benefits?
Well, the most immediate thing really is just a huge improvement in understanding the people around you.
You start seeing why they react the way they do.
Precisely. You begin to decode those reactions, positive or negative.
And that understanding, that naturally builds stronger connections, right?
It has to. When you intentionally speak someone's language, they feel seen, they feel valued.
It deepens the bond, like finding the right key for a lock.
That's a great analogy.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, when people around you get your language,
Yeah.
their care feels so much more meaningful. It leads to feeling, genuinely loved and supported.
Okay, so drawing from all this, what are some first steps, some takeaways we can use right now?
Well, one key thing to notice, and research supports this, is people often give love the way they like to receive it.
Oh, interesting. So watch how they show affection to others.
Exactly. Pay attention to how your friends, your family, naturally show they care. It gives you big clues about their own language.
That's really insightful. And I suppose it's okay to just ask.
Absolutely. In
Yeah.
fact, it's often really helpful just having an open conversation.
Like, hey, what makes you feel really appreciated?
Yeah, something like that. Direct communication cuts through a lot of the guesswork.
Good point.
And fundamentally, we just have to remember,
Hmm.
everyone's different. Unique personalities, unique preferences.
And unique emotional needs for feeling loved.
Exactly. There's just no one-size-fits-all approach here.
Okay, let's narrow the focus a bit. Let's talk siblings, often our first and longest relationships. How do love languages play out there?
Oh, siblings are fascinating through this lens. It's so easy for them to misinterpret each other's attempts to connect.
How so?
Well, you might have one sibling who always wants that one-on-one time, you know, quality time, clear as day.
Okay.
But the other sibling, maybe their main need is words of affirmation. So even though the first sibling just wants to bond,
The second one feels overlooked because they aren't getting the praise or encouragement.
exactly, even with good intentions, the message misses.
And you could see the reverse, right? One sibling always helping out acts of service.
Constantly offering help with chores, homework.
But if the other sibling really needs physical touch, a hug, a high five.
Those helpful actions might not register as love in the same way. It's
Yeah.
like they're using totally different communication channels.
And I bet, based on experience, unmet needs here are behind a lot of sibling fights.
Absolutely. You see it in studies, too. The surface arguments often mask that deeper feeling of, well, not being loved or appreciated in the way that specific sibling needs.
But okay, what happens when siblings do start to recognize and speak each other's languages? What's the upside?
You often see a real strengthening of their bond. It's quite remarkable.
Like what?
Like one sibling starts leaving little encouraging notes for the one who needs words of affirmation,
Oh, okay.
or the sibling who values quality time makes a real effort to put the phone down and just talk, uninterrupted.
That builds a deeper connection, mutual understanding.
Definitely. And it can even affect behavior, especially with kids and teens.
Oh.
Well, when they feel consistently loved and understood in their language, they tend to act out less.
Makes sense. If a kid needs words of affirmation, getting regular praise boosts their self-esteem, makes them feel secure.
Right. And ultimately, when the whole family tries to speak everyone's language,
It just creates a more supportive, understanding home.
exactly, more harmony for everyone involved.
So, key takeaways for siblings specifically.
I think number one is realizing your siblings have their own languages, and they might be totally different from yours.
So, if my brother just teases me all the time,
It doesn't automatically mean he doesn't care.
Yeah.
It might just be his slightly awkward way of trying to engage. Maybe misguided, but still. Okay. What else?
observe how they react. Does your sister light up when you offer help? Or is she happier with a small trinket you found?
Pay attention to their responses.
Yep.
Clues.
Big clues. And finally, make the effort. Try speaking their language, even if it feels a bit unnatural for you.
So if my brother needs physical touch, maybe offer a high five after he scores a goal, even if I'm not normally huggy.
Exactly. That small gesture could be surprisingly meaningful to him.
Okay, let's shift gears. Friends, our chosen family. How do love languages work there?
Well, friendships aren't immune to these misunderstandings either. Same principles apply.
So one friend might be all about practical help, acts of service.
Right. Always there to lend a hand. But the other friend, maybe they need quality time. And if they don't get that focused, one-on-one attention,
They might still feel a bit disconnected, even with all the practical help.
or you have the friend who loves giving gifts. That's their main way of showing they care.
Thoughtful presence, always finding the right thing.
But if their friend really thrives on words of affirmation,
Those gifts might not pack the same emotional punch as hearing, sincere compliments or just words of support during a tough time.
and I guess in tough times, knowing their language is even more critical.
Oh, absolutely. For giving the right kind of support. Someone going through a hard time might appreciate a gift, sure,
But what they might really need,
is a friend who just sits and listens. No judgment. Maybe offer some genuine words of encouragement.
okay. But when we do get it right with friends, when we make that effort,
Then you see those friendships get deeper, more meaningful.
how so?
Well, when friends consciously try to speak each other's language, like one puts the phone away to really listen.
While the other remembers that small thing their friend mentioned wanting.
Exactly. It builds that sense of being genuinely valued, truly understood.
And that makes for a better support system, I'd imagine.
Definitely more reliable, more effective. Knowing how your friends feel most loved helps you be there for them in the ways that really count, both for the good times and the bad.
So it makes them feel seen, appreciated, connected, strengthens the whole thing.
Precisely.
Mm.
Leads to more fulfilling, more resilient friendships.
So what should we keep in mind practically with friends and love languages?
I think one thing is just recognizing the variety. Your friends will show care differently.
One might be the Helmer, the acts of service person.
Another might be the one who always knows how to make you laugh or gives great encouragement, words of affirmation.
And it's important to appreciate their effort, even if it's not your primary language.
Absolutely. If your friend who speaks acts of service is always there to help you move.
Thank them for it, even if you were secretly craving a heart-to-heart chat.
Right. Acknowledge their way of showing love.
Hmm.
And also, don't be afraid to communicate your own needs.
In a healthy way, of course.
Of course. Like, hey, when I'm stressed, it actually helps most if you just listen, maybe offer some understanding.
Rather than jumping in to fix it immediately.
Exactly. It's okay to guide them a little.
Okay, let's widen the circle again. Extended family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. How does this apply?
Well, with extended family, you might see them less often. Interactions might be more around specific events.
So understanding love languages can help bridge that potential distance.
It really can. Think about a grandparent who always sends handwritten cards or small, thoughtful gifts.
Classic receiving gifts expression.
Very likely. Or the uncle who's always first to jump in and help with tasks at family gatherings.
Acts of service, probably.
Right. The potential misunderstanding here is often feeling a bit disconnected or not quite getting their efforts.
Like you get the gifts, but maybe don't know how to show appreciation in a way they understand.
Exactly. Or maybe an aunt helps your parents loads with chores during a visit,
An act of service?
but she feels her efforts aren't really noticed. Maybe some specific words of affirmation about how helpful she was would mean the world to her.
And it works the other way too, right? We might try to show love in our way, and it doesn't land.
Definitely. You might spend ages making something handmade, thinking it's a great gift.
But maybe that relative just really wanted some focused conversation. Quality time.
Precisely. They might value just sitting down and really talking with you more than the object itself.
So if we get more attuned to their languages, what changes with extended family?
Often you see just better family harmony overall. Fewer misunderstandings, a more positive vibe at gatherings.
Makes those get-togethers less stressful, perhaps?
It can. And it definitely strengthens those bonds. Even if you see them less often, making that effort shows you care.
Deepens the connection.
Yeah, and it can even connect you more to your family history, your heritage. You start appreciating the unique ways of showing affection, maybe passed down generations.
Interesting. So what are some specific things to consider with extended family?
Well, it's often helpful to think about their generation, maybe their cultural background.
How so?
Certain generations might just have more traditional or reserved ways of showing affection. Like the grandparent example, handwritten letters might hold huge significance.
Okay.
And what else? Remember that small gestures can go a long way. A quick call just to thank them for a gift, mentioning why it meant something.
Or offering to help with a task you know they struggle with.
Exactly. Little things that speak their language. And honestly, even if your attempt isn't perfect,
The effort counts.
often, yes, the genuine effort to connect, to speak their language, communicates care all by itself. Your uncle might appreciate you trying to listen attentively, even if your mind wanders a tiny bit.
Good point. Okay, final shift. School and team environments. How does this apply when it's not exactly love languages, but maybe appreciation languages?
Right, there's a huge overlap. In classrooms, on sports teams, understanding these appreciation languages can massively impact motivation and how valued people feel.
So a teammate giving a high five after a good play.
That's likely physical touch as encouragement. Or a teacher giving extra help to a struggling student.
Act of service. Maybe quality time too.
Could be both. But misunderstandings happen here too, just like everywhere else.
Like a student working hard on a group project.
But feeling overlooked because nobody verbally acknowledged their contribution. Their need for words of affirmation wasn't met.
Or a player thinking the coach doesn't care because they don't give much verbal praise.
Even if that coach is pouring time and energy into great drills and team strategies showing value through quality time and acts of service.
Right. And when people don't feel valued in ways that work for them.
Morale drops. Motivation dips. The whole team or group performance can suffer.
So what are the benefits of actually cultivating this awareness in schools and teams?
You generally see much better teamwork and collaboration when people get how their peers feel appreciated.
They offer support in ways that actually work.
Exactly. And that feeling of being valued, it directly boosts motivation, productivity.
Stands to reason. If you feel recognized, you're more likely to give your best effort.
Absolutely. So fostering an environment where different appreciation languages are understood and respected, it just leads to more positive, supportive, high-performing groups. Everyone feels acknowledged.
Makes sense. So practical insights for these group settings.
Again, recognize the variety. Appreciation shows up differently. Some offer practical help, share knowledge.
Others give verbal kudos or public praise.
Right. And just knowing these different ways people show appreciation can help you feel more supported.
Like understanding the coach who focuses on drills is still invested, even without constant praise.
Exactly. And even small, deliberate gestures of appreciation in someone's language can make a big difference.
A simple, thanks for your work on that part, to a classmate.
It could have a surprisingly powerful impact on morale.
Okay, this is all really insightful. Let's bring it home. How can we actually do this? What are some concrete ways to use love languages within our own families?
All right, let's talk practical strategies. We can think of maybe 5 super family powers, if you like.
Okay, I like the sound of that. What's the first one?
Let's call it the quality time quest. This is about deliberately scheduling regular family time where everyone puts distractions away. Fun's off.
Focus, togetherness, game night, a walk, just talking.
Any of those. The key is being present. It helps everyone feel heard, truly connected.
Nice. Power number 2.
Word wizard challenges. This is about making a real effort to give specific, genuine compliments.
So not just good job, but
More like, I really appreciated how patient you were helping your sister with that tricky math problem. Makes it personal, impactful.
got it. Number 3.
Act of kindness missions, basically encouraging everyone to look for small, practical ways to help each other out.
Packing someone's lunch, doing an extra chore without being asked.
Exactly. Anticipating a need and meeting it. Those tangible acts really communicate care for some people.
Okay. Number 4.
Thoughtful gift treasures. And again, not about big, expensive stuff.
Small, meaningful gestures.
Right. Bringing home a favorite snack, a handmade card, finding a little something that just made you think of them. It shows they're on your mind.
Love that. And the final power.
Friendly touch signals. Using appropriate, comfortable physical touch. Hugs, pats on the shoulder, high fives, holding hands.
Using that physical connection to show affection and support within the family's comfort levels.
Exactly. Those are 5 concrete ways to start actively using these languages at home.
That's really helpful. To make it even clearer, let's maybe use an example. Tell us about the Chen family story you mentioned.
Right, the hypothetical Chen family. So initially they were feeling pretty disconnected.
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, Maya, the mom, felt unappreciated for all her household work. Her language was acts of service.
Okay.
But her husband, David, mostly showed love through gifts. Their daughter, Emily, needed quality time, but felt unheard when sharing about her day.
Parents may be distracted.
Could be. And their son, Leo, sometimes acted out, potentially because he wasn't getting enough specific words of affirmation for his efforts.
So a classic mismatch of languages leading to friction. What changed?
The turning point was them learning about love languages. Maya started seeing David's gifts as his way of caring, even if it wasn't her way.
And David.
He realized Maya needed his help with chores, acts of service. He started pitching in more.
What about the kids?
Emily noticed her parents putting phones away at dinner, really listening that quality time she needed. And Maya started consciously praising Leo's efforts, big and small.
Giving him those words of affirmation.
Exactly.
And the result, did it fix everything overnight?
No, not instantly, but over time, significantly fewer arguments. They reported feeling much closer, more connected.
A happier family unit overall.
Definitely. More harmony. All because they started intentionally trying to speak each other's languages.
That's a powerful illustration.
And it really drives home the point we've been exploring, understanding how to connect, how to make people feel valued. It goes way beyond just the family home.
Right. It helps you be a better friend.
A better teammate, even a better learner. These strong connections are just fundamental.
A cornerstone of well-being, success, happiness in general.
I truly believe so. It impacts every part of life.
So for everyone listening, the encouragement is start exploring.
Definitely. Explore the love languages of the important people in your life. Watch how they give love.
Ask them what makes them feel appreciated.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask. And then make that conscious effort to communicate in their language.
You might be surprised by the results, the super connections you can build.
You really might. Embracing these principles just unlocks so much potential for deeper relationships, more understanding
Everywhere in your life.
everywhere.
Well, this has been incredibly insightful. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
My pleasure.
We look forward to our next exploration together. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're zeroing in on something that, well, it goes way beyond just romantic sparks.
Yeah, the concept of love languages.
Right, from Gary Chapman originally. But our mission here, it's not just about couples, is it?
Not at all.
Yeah.
We're really digging into how these 5 ways of expressing and feeling love can genuinely change all your relationships.
Like with family, friends.
Even in school projects or, sports teams, how you connect there.
Think of it like this, maybe. You might feel great with a pat on the back, after doing something well.
Sure.
But someone else, they might feel really seen only when you actually say, hey, you absolutely nailed that.
Exactly. It's all about learning to speak their specific language, isn't it?
So what are these 5 languages? Let's recap quickly.
Okay, first up, we've got words of affirmation. This is all about the power of spoken appreciation.
Hearing encouraging words, genuine compliments, that kind of thing.
Precisely. Those words that really resonate.
Then there's quality time. And reading Chapman, it's clear this isn't just like being in the same room.
No, definitely not. It's about focused attention. Real distraction-free moments together.
Like a movie night where everyone actually puts their phones away.
Exactly. And really connects with what's happening and with each other.
Okay, what's next?
Receiving gifts. Now, this one gets misunderstood sometimes.
People think it's materialistic.
Yeah, maybe. But the research really highlights the thought